Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Summer Series, where we take you behind the scenes to see what makes Menlo Athletics run. I'm your host, Brian Brownfield, and what better way to go behind the scenes at Menlo Athletics than to talk to the Vice President of Athletics here at Menlo College. It's Keith Spataro. Keith, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better, and I want to open up by talking about sports.
Okay.
Preseason football finally underway, and you are a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Ooh.
How on earth did you become a fan of the Buccaneers in those horrendous creamsicle uniforms?
Yeah, well, it's really simple. I grew up in Florida, and 1976, we bought season tickets, or we had connections to season tickets at the time, and I just became enamored by them, and I literally fell in love with them. They're an obsession. Really, that's what it's become. And when I moved to California, I stayed as connected as I could, but I watch them every Sunday, and I follow them on all their social media, and I'm just into it.
For worse or for better, you're into it?
Mostly for worse. We've had a few ups. The Super Bowl was clearly the highlight, and it was here in San Diego, so I was able to go to it.
You did?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow.
Still the greatest sporting event I've ever been to. And it just, and then it was a skid after that. It went downhill fast, Not sure what to think this year, but the great thing about sports is every year's a new year.
It is.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Certainly doesn't help, though, that your starting quarterback is suspended for the first few games of the year.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you ask. I'm actually kind of happy about it, to be honest with you. I hate to, you want to be a fan of everybody that's on the team because you know how important each of them are. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a fan when we drafted him. I was hoping we'd go in another direction. But he's our quarterback now, and we got to support him. And but I like the pieces that we have this year, and I think that Ryan, Fitzpatrick's going to do a good job for us. So.
Now, you've talked a lot about growing up in Florida before, and I've heard that there are a lot of aspects to it that you don't particularly enjoy now, having been here in California. So if you had to choose another place to live other than California or Florida, where would it be?
Yeah, what's funny is, a lot of the things about Florida that I don't like is the heat and the humidity. Mm-hmm. It's brutal. Which is going to make this choice seem weird, but I would live in Hawaii. I think Hawaii is one of the places that I really love. I love the people, I love the culture, and I just like the island life. It's really cool. So I could see myself living there.
And you do vacation there about what, once
usually,
a year?
Usually once a year. Yeah, we try and get back there at least once a year, and I have to go back for work too because. With my role with enrollment, we run a lot of recruiting events there, and they're an important population to our college. So I'm lucky to have to go there for work.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's not a bad way to spend a couple of days over there.
No, not at all.
Now, you were the one responsible for getting the wrestling program off the ground here at Menlo College as the inaugural head coach. What was that process like, pioneering a brand new sport?
Yeah, there's a lot of work that went into it, and at the time, the college wasn't, the footing for enrollment wasn't very stable, and one of the reasons to add wrestling was because of the enrollment tool, excuse me, and to bring increase numbers to the school. So when I started, I was really just a volunteer. I didn't get paid in that first year. It was kind of like, if you can build it, we'll support it type of thing. I when I walked on the campus, I thought, God, this place could be a gold mine, especially as it related to wrestling at the time, because that was my passion, and that's what I was here to do. And I just thought, we could really build something special here, and I was willing to not get paid and to kind of go backwards professionally because I had a vision for what I thought it could look like, and I was able to see that vision through as a wrestling coach. I was surrounded by really good athletes and good assistant coaches, and it was really a special time to start it up. But it was a lot of work to get it off the ground. I mean, we didn't have a facility. We didn't have scholarship money. We didn't have a budget. We were fundraising the entire operation. It took years off my life, in those first couple of years, but. The foundation that we set put both programs where they are today, which is really successful. So I'm proud of that.
Both of them ranked in the top 5 here as we begin the 2018 academic school year. Now, some folks might not know this, but you were actually an adjunct professor here at Menlo College in the sports management program when you came here. What are some of the parallels between coaching and teaching?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're two in the same, really. I mean, I think, to be able to stand in front of a group, whether it's in a class or if you're doing a presentation or if you're coaching, you have to command the room. So I think there's the parallels are very consistent there. You have to be able to demonstrate your knowledge and keep people tuned into that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, when you stand in front of somebody as a teacher or as a coach, your primary job is to inspire them. And I think that. I never looked at my coaching role any different than being a teacher. It was always, and when we hire coaches now, they have to be teachers, because there's things that are out of our control in the world of athletics, and there are things that are in our control, and one of them is being a really good teacher and being able to effectively communicate what the game should look like. So I always, in fact, I probably did it the other way. I took the way I coached and brought it into the classroom rather than bringing the classroom to the way I coached. And even when I taught at the high school level, it was the same way. I ran my classrooms very much like I ran my practices. So I think the parallels are very, very aligned.
All right, Keith, let's talk a little bit about Menlo College right now. This is the beginning of year number 11 for you at the helm of the athletics department. Is there a particular change or development that you are most proud of during your 11 years?
I don't know. I struggle with this as a person. I don't celebrate success very well. In fact, I'm quite terrible at it. I'm constantly, when we achieve something, it's, well, okay, what's next and what else can we do? Having said that, I'm not that impressed with anything we've done, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, I want more and I want to keep pushing. But, we've come a long way. When I took over as athletic director, I think we only had 6 full-time people in the whole department. Most of our coaches were part-time. We had no athletic scholarship money. Our facilities were dilapidated. So I think, I'm most proud of the vision that we created, and which allowed us to take advantage of opportunities as they were presented. And we've been able to significantly improve our facilities. Adding athletic scholarships has significantly increased the level of student athlete that we bring in. Being able to get to full-time coaches and full-time support staff like yourself has transformed the way the operation has. And student athletes are benefiting from it greatly. And that ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, is to provide a great experience for them. So you can tie any one of those successes to my most successful thing, but at the end of the day, we're trying to move forward and keep our foot on the gas.
Now, those student athletes have really been developing on the field and off the field as well. Academic success, a very high priority here, the number 1 at Menlo College, and last year, 13 scholar teams in the NAIA. What does the off-the-field success mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's immeasurable, and I think we absolutely look at the data and it shows the parallel between being a successful student also parallels with being a successful athlete, and we're very intentional about the type of student athletes that we recruit. We want to recruit students that are engaged on campus, are true servant leaders, and above all want to get their degree. And academics is an important part of why they're choosing Menlo College. And and that translates. If you have kids that have balance in their lives and are successful in everything they do, we're going to be pretty good athletically. And I think it's proven to be true. So, yeah.
Now that you're the vice president for enrollment, in addition to leading the athletic department here at Menlo, how are you adapting to handle both roles and weaving the athletics department in with the college?
Yeah. I think it's still early in the process, and I'm not sure I am weaving it in. I feel like right now I am treading water with sharks, and but it's about being able to put together a vision. I think when I first started as athletic director, I was also the wrestling coach, and I did that for a year, and it was much of the same thing. It was what job is most important right now, and that's really how I'm handling it. I'm faced with what's most important right now, right in front of me. It's not a great way for long-term success, and it won't be that way. We'll get it to the point where we have a clear vision for enrollment management, and much like we do for athletics, and they'll stand alone, and they'll be able to operate independent, and there won't be this sense of urgency associated with a new job real soon, very shortly. So right now I'm just putting out fires and learning everything I can about enrollment management and working through it, but soon we'll have them both clicking at high levels.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll wrap it up with something short and simple. What makes Menlo College a place worth coming to and staying at?
Yeah, it's funny. When I walked on campus nearly 19 years ago, before we started working here and put the proposal in, as I said earlier, I thought, God, what a gold mine. And I still wake up and think that, like this job stays with me night and day. I think about it all the time. And it's awesome because my work is also my passion, and it's something that is ingrained in my soul. And I just think to stay at a place for 18 years speaks volumes for that place and the type of environment it is. And just look on social media and look at all the alumni that still follow us and the fondness that they have. And and I get invited to weddings, and the whole wedding party is Menlo alum, and you just see how connected all these student athletes are, and it really speaks to what an amazing place it is. And I don't think there's anything like it. A high achieving small residential college in an unbelievable area to live it's a special place. And I 19 years ago, I never thought that I would be where I am today and in the position I am, but it just keeps I just want to keep coming back. It's just an amazing place. Yeah.
As a Menlo alum myself, I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah,
it's
for
a
sure.
pretty special place.
Yeah.
All right, Keith, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answer.
Okay.
Question number 1. This is a popular question among coworkers here in the athletic department. They want to know, how long have you been bald, and do you use shampoo?
Well, that's a good question. I've been bald, literally. I started going bald in my junior year of college, so quite some time ago now. I'm dating myself a little bit, but I've had my head shaved since I was in 10th grade anyway. Like, I used to have a flat top, and I've always, pretty much 10th grade on, I kept my hair pretty short. But about my junior year, I really started thinning, and I've had it shaved ever since. I started bicking and keeping it really tight maybe about 8-9 years ago. I started getting a little horseshoe, and that just wasn't a good look for me. So I started bicking about 8 or 9 years ago, and I basically shave my head in the shower every day, and sometimes every other day, but mostly every day. And don't use shampoo. I just use regular soap, and it's awesome. I never have to worry about combing my hair. I don't have to worry about combing it. I don't have to worry about getting it cut. I don't spend any money on shampoo.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, no money on haircuts, no money on shampoos. Although the trade-off in time, you don't have to get it ready in the morning, but you do got to shave it every morning.
Yeah,
in the
for
shower.
sure.
So
For
there
sure.
is that.
Yeah.
Question number 2: which coworker would look the best in a throwback Buccaneers uniform?
Yeah, Connie Iona, for sure. Yeah, he would be. He would look awesome in the creepsicle. And it would. It'd be really cool to see him in that.
And you slip one on him, and he probably would look like a football player too,
Oh, for sure.
with his sheer size,
Yeah,
being
absolutely.
6'8" or whatever he is.
For sure.
And then question number 3: which two coworkers would make for the most entertaining wrestling match?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of them, honestly. But you know, last year when we did the pep rally and saw Joey and JMO, that was pretty.
Yep.
That was pretty classic.
Yep.
You know, I would have to stick with that because it was pretty funny. It was really entertaining. So you know, I would say JMO and Joey was it's good. It'd be hard to beat that.
Yeah. It's certainly a lopsided matchup because
Yeah.
Joey's going to win that every time, being
Yeah.
the head wrestling coach.
sure.
But Jameson is that type of person who he knows he's going to lose, but
Yeah.
he's going to keep getting back
Yeah.
up, and he's going to keep coming back for more.
And he kept doing it. I was shocked, but it was entertaining for sure. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, Keith, thank you so much for joining me on the show. I appreciate it.
For sure. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, folks. We only have one more episode left of the Unrooted Summer Series. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks when the students get back on campus. So is it going to be one of us, or is it going to be a student? Perhaps we have a residential ball hawk that works on our athletic staff that we might be getting on here. I want to tease it and leave it at that. So stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.